Hello everyone. So today I'm going to give you an update on the cherry alley garden. I usually show it to you at the end of the summer, but this time I'm going to show it to you at the beginning of the summer. And it's looking so lush. We had so much rain, and everything is coming in nicely. And at the end of this video, I will include some before photos so you could see just what this space looked like before, which pretty much was nothing. So on the left here, there is a climbing hydrangea that is finally getting some bulk. They are very slow to start, but then eventually they start growing and start blooming reliably and profusely every year. I think it eventually will grow over the storage shed and will look absolutely adorable. Now, this walkway here, which is a zigzag pattern, it creates a lot of interest in the garden and also creates planting pockets and planting areas that are kind of separate from each other. So the first one, which is on the right, is kind of a shady pocket, and it has some ferns, Hakinakloa, a stilby, brunner, some plants that tolerate heavy shade and will pretty much burn in the sunny location. Now here we have a native fringe tree that just finished blooming. It was beautiful, blooms with white flowers. And on the right there is a walkway that is more informal, leading toward the fire pit area. And this is the tree that was here in the beginning. We left it, and it just provides so much structure to this garden. And on the left is more of a formal area or outdoor living room area. And under the tree, which is a Japanese maple, I believe it's a bloodgood, we created the tapestry of plants with Hakinakloa, which repeats all throughout the garden. And also check out this carpet from Sweet Woodruff with a Hakinakloa, and actually there was a woodland phlox blooming earlier in the spring, and it was just absolutely beautiful. So as you walk down this informal walkway, again there's a Hakinakloa that repeats and has that chartreuse color, as well as the Sun King Aurelia that you see right here. And there's a lot of structures, a lot of textures. Again, I love the trunk of this multi-stemmed tree. Creates so much interest. In the fall, there's tons of anemones that bloom here. And on the right, there is a new dawn rose that is just starting to bloom, that is planted with a clematis. And I love New Dawn roses. I have one of my own. They're pretty vigorous and very easy to grow. So this is a walkway, again leading toward the fire pit area, and the quick overview of the garden with beautiful foxgloves kind of dotted all over. There's some clematis that are starting to bloom. And I love those vertical elements. A lot of times our gardens tend to be too flat, especially when you just start a garden. So including obelisks or taller plants like the foxgloves will provide that vertical element to the garden. And here again, Hakinakloa repeats. There's tons of hydrangeas here that start blooming in the summer. And this dogwood right here, this is Scarlet Fire. It actually did not put on a lot of bloom this year. Last year it was covered. I'm not sure why, if it maybe was damaged in the winter. And this variegated dogwood in the distance here, which I loved when I saw it in a nursery. I thought it was absolutely perfect for this garden. And here you enter the fire pit area through the grove of Joe Pye weed, and it's exactly as I imagined it to be, this cozy area where you can retreat or spend an evening with others, just surrounded by trees and beautiful plants. And behind the plants, we actually left a small area for the children to play. It's just mulched, so they can maybe make mud cakes or hang out in the hammock or jump from a stepping stone to stepping stone. Here we have more oak leaf hydrangeas, more Joe Pye weeds, and this beautiful nine bark that is blooming right now. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I think it's just such a wonderful contrast with the black Adirondack chairs. I mean, look at this. Aren't these just so precious? Love nine barks. Even when they're not blooming, they provide a lot of interest. And here we have the lawn area, which we left a general lawn area for the kids. And also in the back, there are some skip laurels that are low enough to have the neighbor's forest pansy redbud exposed. And the homeowners will keep them pruned because I think that borrowed view to the neighbor's redbud is just so beautiful. But that greenery with the skip laurels and the redbud creates a beautiful contrast. As I pan around here, there are some viburnums blooming, which are just loaded with flowers, just absolutely beautiful. These are native viburnums, and the idea was actually to block the play set a little bit from the seating area, but the plant itself is just so lush. The homeowner found this clematis on sale. I think it's Nellie Moser. She wasn't sure what it was, but I love the way it intermingles with this viburnum. I think it's just great to have the shrubs create support for some climbing plants. And this is a Nootka cypress, which is a very whimsical tree. I just love the look of them. And this is the cherry alley for which the garden is named. And we planted the cherries for shade that the homeowners sorely needed on the patio area. And we were debating whether to include some sort of shade structure or trees. In the end, I am so glad that we actually went with trees because they provide so much structure and so much beauty all year round. They have beautiful bark, they bloom beautifully in the spring, and have gorgeous fall color, and they actually provide space for the birds to nest. And I saw a couple of nests in there, which is exciting. This rose right here that a homeowner planted, this is Astasia Vi, and it's so beautiful. They're just starting to bloom. I mean, look, isn't that perfection right there? Yes, so the roses are just starting to bloom, and there's a smoke bush right in this bed as well. So you could see the overview of the seating area. And the area underneath the cherries was planted with catmint. However, as the cherries grow, that space will become shadier and shadier, and it's going to have to be replanted with something else. But right now, there's still some Orleia that does okay, and again, some Nepeta and daffodils in the early spring. And once again, you can see how beautiful the cherry trees are with their shiny bark and just how much structure they provide to this garden. So let's look at the flower bed here from the other angle, the one with the scarlet fire dogwood. You can see the nine bark from this side, just how lush that plant is. Loaded with flowers, and again, those foxgloves provide that vertical element, and the dogwood with all of the beautiful flowers around it. There are some salvias, Amsonia, Hubrichtii, and basketball roses in the background with more foxgloves, which are quintessential cottage flower. And you can see the layout of the outdoor living room from this angle, again with the trees as a ceiling and kind of like a wall feeling. The dining room area here with some fine line buckthorn hedge next to the fence. And they just updated their deck here with the steps. Now let's talk about the roses here that are blooming right now on this side of the house. This is Crown Princess Margareta, and she is stunning. I'm not normally into warmer colors, but look at her. Those petals, so rich, such warm colors with the cooler colors in the garden. I think they go so well together. Here's an overview of the kind of a living room area with some beautiful container plantings and more roses. So this one is called Eden, and she had another rose right there that died unfortunately from rose rosette. But look at Eden. Oh, so pretty. And all of this is underplanted with salvias, phlox, and Verbena bonariensis that will bloom later in the summer. And again, here is the seating area. And just imagine enjoying yourself, sitting and relaxing here in the afternoon in this beautiful garden with all of the plantings and of course the beautiful echo fountain that I am so glad that we decided to include in this garden, because water is a great element for any garden, for wildlife, and it's just so peaceful to just hear that gargling sound. And here's a zigzag walkway from this angle with some beautiful container plantings. And the rose bed from this angle here. There are some evergreen elements like cephalotaxis that are present here in the winter. And just the whole outdoor living space area with some beautiful lights that they turn on in the afternoon and at night. It's just such a beautiful, cozy feeling. And you could see out on the lawn and the kids playing. And again, the beautiful fountain here, the informal walkway, the tree, and all of the tapestry of plants that we included in this garden. Again, this is not a very large garden, but we jammed it with plants as much as we could. And as you exit the garden, there is this shed that was just such a great addition to this garden. First, to put a lot of extra stuff in there, like the garden tools or kids stuff, but also I think it provides a lot more structure and some aesthetic element to the garden, and this adorable little window box with some Brawalia illumination and begonia and ivy. Those little elements definitely add a lot to the garden. And I love how the fence has aged too. I originally wanted to paint it, but it just aged so beautifully. Here's one more look, and this is it for today's tour. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching it, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.